Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really glad that you are here. We're doing another journal with me here today in my yearly journal. I am on a mission to make some headway in this. I'm quite a few months behind, and the months that I am behind have an awful lot of photos, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me. So I am taking this week and I am working on nothing but my yearly journal, trying to get this caught up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do today. I've got some photos here. I have made it to June. I've got some photos here from a story that I want to document. This is part of my June stories. And these are photos that I took at the Stanley Hotel that is in Estes Park, Colorado. Now, I mentioned this before. I live in Colorado. It's about 45 minutes for us to get up to Estes Park. But my son and my daughter-in-law were in town. His best friend got married in Estes, and so they were here for the wedding. They live in Texas, so we don't get to see them very often. So we jumped at the chance to go to Estes Park and spend some time with them. So what we decided to do was meet at the Stanley Hotel for brunch. They have a restaurant called Brunch & Co. And so we met them there and had brunch and just kind of spent a couple hours with them before we had to get back. So it was a quick little getaway, quick little, time to see them, but you gotta take it while you can. So I've got a lot of photos here from us just touring the Stanley and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So what am I going to be working with? So obviously my journal, this is my yearly journal. And we are on June. So I'm working on the back side of this page. Nope, sorry, this page right here. So this is the size paper that I have. So one thing, let me mention this real quick. So when I created this yearly journal, I used papers of all different sizes. Now, the great thing about using this journal the way that this is with a no-sew journal is that I can make the pages bigger if I want to. So when I was working my way through the journal, I have this smaller page. Well, I wanted to make my page a little bit bigger because I had more stories to tell. And so I created my page just a little bit larger and I stuck that down. And now this page on this side is going to be the exact same size as this, which is perfect because again, I've got a lot of photos and a lot of stories that I want to tell. So that is, so that's going to work out well for me. So that's what we're working on. I'm thinking that it's probably going to take 3 pages to tell this story with these photos, but we'll see. If I need to use 4, I can. I don't have a lot of photos for July, so this first section of my book has to cover April, May, June, and July, and I'm only halfway through the signature. So my August does have an awful lot of photos, so if I need to take my the extra pages that I have left here and use them as part of my August, I can totally do that. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So let me show you quickly. I've pulled out some papers and that I thought might be kind of fun to use for this Stanley layout. Now, the Stanley Hotel is a very old hotel. This is was made famous by Stephen King in The Shining. This is where he stayed when he got the inspiration for The Shining. The Shining is based on the Stanley Hotel. So the hotel was built in the very early 1900s. It's an old hotel, so I wanted to pull out papers that I thought would kind of reflect that. So I've got these papers that I think I'm going to be working with here. And I've just pulled quite a few out. I don't know that I'll use them all, but I wanted to be able to have, a good base to work from. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use these 2 as the actual pages for these journal pages, and then I'll use these papers to kind of accent. So that's what I think I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm loving the kind of the very vintage. These kind of reminded me of like old hotel wallpapers. So I thought these might be kind of fun for the photos from the hotel. So that's the photos that we're going to be working with, or the papers that we're going to be working with. And these all came from this, let me grab it, this paper pad right here. This is from Hobby Lobby and it is called Haberdashery. And I love it because it's all craft paper. So you've got the craft paper on one side, but then you've got these really pretty vintage designs on the other side. There's some embossing on here. This one happens to have some glitter on there. I think there's another page with glitter somewhere. This one's really pretty. This one's embossed. That little dress form right there. Oh, these are glitter as well. So really pretty paper pack. And this is the first time I've used it. So we'll see how this goes. All right. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is just cut down my papers to match what I need to cover up on the other side of this. So once we do this, we can put the book aside and I work outside of my journal, which is another great way to, or another pro to using this type of journal. Okay. So I've got that one marked. So I'm going to cut that down and then I'm going to do this one while I'm at it. And the nice thing about this is I can make it the width that this is, or I can make it a little bit wider. So I'm going to see, I think I'm going to use it the same size just to mix that up a little bit. So I've got that and that. So I'm going to go cut those. Let's see, that one goes there and that is that side. Okay, so I'm going to put this book away and we're going to work on this side first. I'm thinking what I might want to do, I had an idea to create a flip for my title here. And I think this is the paper that I'm going to go ahead and use that for. So what my idea is because this is kind of the title page for this, I'm thinking what I might want to do is take these two large 4x6 photos and create a flip with those. I think we're going to do that. Okay, I just need to figure out how big I want to make the flip. And it doesn't need to be the full size of the 4x6. I can cut this any size. I think actually what I'm going to do is cut it right here. Then I don't have this gap here and then this weird cut there. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to cut right in the middle of that and I'm going to cut it the full length. All right, trim that down. Okay, there's that. So I think if I attach one here and then one on the back side, that will make my flip, and then I can maybe put my title here. Let's do that. Okay. So to create my flip, all I need to do is attach this with some tape. I just use the invisible tape to create all of my flips. It works out really well. And I think because it's on the black paper, it's not being so invisible. So I think what I might do is just cover that edge with washi tape. Let me see if I've got some that would work with this. Maybe that one. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Okay, that worked pretty well. I actually like that. Worked out really well. Okay, so now I'm going to take this 4x6 and attach it. Do I cover up the washi or do I just... I think I will have to a little, because the washi is a little crooked, but that's okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, and then I'll do this other one on the back side. And I'll just match those two up. right. Okay. So there's that. Created this cute little flip. Now I've got a little bit of room here for my title. I pulled out some gold alphabet stickers that I had, and I thought I wanted to use that to make my title, but these are looking a little bit larger than I thought they were going to be. But I really want to use them. I like the color. I think the color goes well with this, and I love the font. We're gonna give it a try. Let me grab my wax paper. That's gonna be the easiest way for me to play with this and figure out where I want my title. Okay, so I want this title to go this way, and I'm just gonna say the Stanley Hotel. But let's see, let's start with the Stanley first. See what we can make work. I know I've got enough alphabets here, or enough letters here, because I played with them a little bit just to make sure that I had enough. So we've got Stanley there, and I'm hoping that I can make hotel fit in here. Now the problem with these is that some of these letters are really big and really loopy, but gotta see if I can make it work. I can move Stanley over here if I need to. And then the hotel has smaller letters. They're not as big and scripty as those are. So let's see. Could, if I needed to, come over a little bit onto the photo. I think that might work. Okay, so I need this to come almost all the way to the edge. There we go. That worked out actually really, really well. I love that. I love the color. I love the brassy look of these letters, and I love this font. I think it's perfect for this page. So yay, glad that worked out. So then I've got this just flips open, and there's my title, there's my flip. Okay, and I think what I'm gonna do is add some journaling here. I've got a little bit of my washi tape is hanging over. Okay, so let's trim that off. Okay. Perfect. Love that. Love it. All right, so let's do some journaling here. I'm thinking maybe I want to take that same washi and run it along here as well. Let's try that. I may have to lift this photo up a little, but I think that will just help cover this seam a little bit. Look, got it right to the edge. Perfect. Okay. Grab my gift card. Perfect way to tear washi. Okay. Love it. All right. Now, for journaling, I've got this lined paper. All right, so I need to make this look a little bit more vintage. So I'm going to, I think, tear this a little bit here for a torn edge there. And then I can use my Distress ink. Okay, that helped a little bit. I don't hate the way that looks. So I'm gonna glue that down. Okay, so I've got a spot for journaling. I'm wondering if I want to put something here. Let's see what we've got. I could put a butterfly right there, maybe. Let's just do it. Just to kind of break up some of that space over here. Maybe like maybe a tiny word phrase there. Got this, love this. Okay, so what have I done? So I've gone ahead and added 2 more photos to this next page. So I added another 4x6, and I wanted to make sure that when this closed, it covered that full 4x6. I don't like it sticking out underneath that one, so I went ahead and just situated that so that I could close this and that photo would be covered. And then I added this other photo. This is like an old vehicle that sits outside the Stanley Hotel. I do think that they use it to transport guests, maybe back and forth to the airport. I'm not quite sure, but I love that little car. So I added that photo right there. Again, it just says the Stanley Hotel, so it kind of ties in with my title right here. And then I created this little embellishment cluster over here, just added some things that kind of went with the color scheme of this. Oh, and I did add some torn paper. I just grabbed this one, this craft paper. This comes from the same collection. And I tore the edges, and then I inked them with my walnut stain, and then just added that as a base for that photo so that there wouldn't be just a lot of blank space up here. So I like the way that that has turned out. The only other thing I'm wondering, so I've got this coin, and this is a token that you get when you pay for your parking. So parking at the Stanley Hotel is $10. But when you pay to park, they give you this token, and the token is used, it can be used for $10 off, you know, the gift shop or restaurants or anything like that in the hotel. But I think they're banking on the fact that a lot of people will just keep these. So the cool thing about these is, let me see if I can show you real quick. So it says the Stanley Hotel. It's got a picture of the Stanley Hotel. And then on the back side, there's an axe, and it says 217. So that, and it also says a year. It says 2023. So of course I wasn't going to use it. I was going to keep it. But I love the axe, and I love the 217. 217 was the room that Stephen King stayed in when he was there, and that was where he got his inspiration for The Shining. And I believe it is considered one of the more haunted rooms. And I think that The Shining actually took place in room 217. So really super cool. Wanted to make sure that I kept that and use that in my journal somewhere. I'm wondering if I can create a pocket. Do I want to do it there, or do I want to do it somewhere else? Not quite sure. I've got some acetate. I could create like a little acetate pocket to put this in. Maybe I'll create the pocket right now, and then I can play around with it and see if I like it here or if it maybe is going to work better on another page. So I've got, let me do that real quick. I've got this acetate right here. I've used it for years with my pocket scrapbooking. And so I've got that on hand, and I think I'll just pull out a sheet of this. I'm sure I have a scrap sheet somewhere, but I don't want to take the time to figure out where it's at. So if I create a pocket, I can slip the coin in there. Oops, washi everywhere. I can slip the coin in there, maybe washi tape the edges, and then I can play with it to figure out where I want it to go. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do right now. Okay, so there's my little acetate, what will become my pocket. I just used the guides on my mat to kind of figure out exactly how big I wanted to make this. So hopefully this should work. I'm thinking I'll just fold this in half. I'm sorry if this is hard to see. I know that acetate is clear, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I'm gonna washi tape my two edges, and then this should just slide right in here. And then I can acetate, or I can washi the top part as well. So yeah, I like that. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to use that same washi that I used so that everything kind of has a cohesive look here to it. One thing I think I might do here is add some sticky to this. because I don't want it, you know, floating around in this pocket. I want it to be like stuck in one place. So there. That looks pretty darn cute. You know what it reminds me of is a slide, like the old slides. I kind of like the look of that. I think it looks perfect. So what I'm gonna do is, my thought is that I would add some more washi on this side so that it flips so that you can see both sides. But now that I'm putting it here, I don't think that this is the right spot for it. So it's gonna probably end up on my next page. But I've got it done, and now I can kind of play with it to see where I want it to go. So, and if you guys saw me earlier, I had to glue down some of these letters. The sticky, I've had them for so long, and the sticky is coming off of them. So I just used this Elmer's Craft Bond to add some more stick back on that. So that's what I'm using to keep those down a little bit. And I've also had to tape my washi tape down a little bit. It is not very sticky either. So I'm taping that so that it stops coming up. So I had to do that on the front side as well. Okay, that should be good. And no one's gonna see this backside. This backside is what's gonna get stuck down into my journal. So I'm okay with that tape showing right there. Okay, so now I'm wondering what I could do up here. I could create another embellishment cluster. And that may be what I do. Let's see what we've got here. So I just added a couple little embellishments over here, added some of that paper, and then I found this in my stash of stuff. This is from the Simple Stories Simply Vintage collection also, and I like it because it helped to bring in some of the black, because I've got black in the photos, I've got black over here, so I like having a little pop of black. So that is perfect. I just need to journal, and I will do that later, but that worked out really well. I'm loving that. So let me pull my book back over. And then this is going to get stuck down. Okay. So there we go. I've got that page. I've got that page. This flips out. Perfect. Loving that. Loving it. Okay. Now let's come over here. So I've already cut my paper for that side. And I've got that same piece of paper over here. So that's just going to fit there. And actually, I think I want it to go that way. Get that distressed edge on the outside. All right, so let's tackle this one. All right, now I need to make sure that this is going to be on some other type of paper underneath it, because I need that to pop a little. So if I were just to lay it on here, it really blends in and you can't really even tell it's there. So I think what I might do, and this would be pulling in that black again as well. What if I use, actually, if I use another piece of that, this coordinates with the flap over here. So if I do like a torn edge here, and then this could go on there, and then that pops a little bit more. Let's do that. So when I tear these, I just kind of figure out where I want it to start, where I want my tear to start. And trying to decide if I do the whole page, maybe. I don't think that would be horrible. So let's start like right here. And then I can come down to here. Okay, so there's my mark, and you always tear towards you, and so you get that nice, torn edge right here, right there. Now this paper is a little bit thicker because it is craft paper, and it's not wanting to tear as nicely or as easily as some other papers would, but just gotta see how this goes. See what we got. Okay. So I can tear some of this off. Okay. That's not horrible. It's not horrible. I can tape that down. Okay. So let me ink my edges again. That looks good. Love that. I am a sucker for a torn edge. I love to tear my paper. I've got this craft looking envelope. Oh, that would be really cute. Okay, this is what my, sorry, just me thinking here. What if I put that on the envelope? Okay, actually I think I like it better there. Okay, but this envelope might work really well. It's craft colored. I can ink the edges. This is from my Your Creative Studio kit that I ordered. I've ordered quite a few of them, and I always keep the envelopes. They had sent some washi tape in this one, and I always keep the envelopes because you can definitely reuse these. So I may take this and add it here, and then I can put some 3x4 photos in there. You know what I could do too is make tags out of them maybe. I could put two of these together, make a tag, and then those could all live in there. Okay, I think I'm on to something. I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Okay, but the first thing I want to do, let's tackle this photo. And I think I want to add some more craft paper to the back of this just to help it pop a little bit from that black. Yep, that's exactly what that needed. So let me ink these edges up. All right, so now we need to tackle the photos. So I'm going to figure out which ones I want. These are a couple pictures of my son out front of the hotel. I've got some, there's a little creek, little waterfall thing in the back of the hotel. This one actually says the Stanley Hotel. This one doesn't. So I don't know that I need to use both of them, but if I had to keep one, I would keep one that says the Stanley. We've got this view. We've got a couple view ones. I think I'll make, let's see how many tags we're going to make here. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we'll make, let me trim this one down just a touch. Okay, so if I glue these back to back, then I can figure out how big I want my tags to be. Okay, so these are all done. They're all backed. They're ready to be made into tags. I thought I would show you the quick and easy way to make these into tags. This is what I do with them all the time. And all I'm going to do is figure out how I want the top of this tag to look, how much space I want up here. And then I cut my corners. And then I'm going to take that little piece and I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to cut the exact same over here. So then you've got your angle already and your space already. So now both of your corners should turn out exactly the same. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that with these two. I'm going to use the same template, so all of my tags are the exact same size. And I'm going to punch a hole in them, and then I'm going to add some, I don't know if I want to do ribbon, maybe some twine or something like that. We'll see what I've got. But that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. Okay, those are all done. So I've got my photos cut into tags. I've added the twine to the top. Now those are just going to live in there. So that's perfect. I've used 2, 4, 6, 7 photos so far. And I think what I'm going to do here is maybe take, I never did finish this pocket. So I put that there and then maybe add one photo on top of there. I think that might be what I do. Okay, this is super cute. I'm really happy with how this came together. Look at that. I've got my 6 photos here. So I used 8 photos on this particular layout. I've got this. I'm going to add another piece of washi. I don't love the fact that you can see the tape. So I'm going to add another piece of washi here. And that looks a little bit better. I like that much better. So you can see that this flips. All right, so then that leaves us one other page. Let me put this in my journal so we can see how this is looking together. All right, so we've got that there. Okay, so those are our 2 pages here. I've got one more left to do and I have an idea for those. So let me work on this side real quick. And I'm going to use, let's see, I've only got a couple photos to use, so what I'm thinking I might want to do is, I've got those 2 brunch photos, and I'm thinking if I use this corner, I can get this cute little bird, and then I've only got the 2 photos that I need to use. I think that I might just do this. Let me see what we're looking at as far as paper. Let me figure out where I'm going to trim this down. Okay, so then I could just really pop these 2 photos here. Okay, so I think I sort of figured it out. The one thing that's throwing me off is this butterfly. So when I move this around, I either get like this half of a butterfly hanging out here, or I end up having to move them up too high here, and I don't leave all the blank space here, but then at least the butterfly shows. So I think what I'm going to do, I grabbed my X-Acto knife, and I think I'm going to trim out this portion of the butterfly, and that way I can slide the photos underneath the wings so that I can get my photos where I want them on this page. I do have a little bit of journaling to do, and then I can do a little embellishment cluster up here or something, but I think that's gonna work because look, if I put the photos where I want them, I've got this random half piece of the butterfly, and I don't love that. I could just cover it up, but I'm gonna try this and see how it works. If I really mess this up, I do have the other half of the paper that I could use to, I could use that for another page, but I'm gonna try this and we're gonna see how it goes. It may be a total fail, but we're gonna give it a go. So that worked out well. I'm really happy with that. I was able to cut out the wing of the butterfly. I've just put it on top of this photo. I added some journaling here, just added some journaling lines, and I used my Dymo label punch to put on here the red rum mimosas. So we loved the red rum mimosas, so I wanted to make sure to put that photo, and I love it because you can see the mountains in the background. I thought that was just a pretty picture. And then I took a sticker. This sticker was white, and I just added some distress ink on it. The pink doesn't really go, but I really wanted something to take up the space at the top there. So that works for me. So we'll go ahead and put this in my journal now. Okay, that's in there. So we've done 1, love that, 2, 3 layouts. Now, I am in the middle of my signature and I have my rubber band here, and this works out perfectly because one of the things I wanted to do was add the menu from Brunch & Co. So I remember when we were sitting there that the menu was like so Stanley Hotel, and I'll share that with you in just a second, but I thought it would be perfect to add this because I can. So this is the middle of my signature. I've got my rubber band here. Now if I want to, I can add something to this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me show you quick what I'm thinking. So I just went to the Stanley Hotel website, and on the Brunch & Co. portion, they have the Brunch & Co. menu. Now this was the Brunch & Co. menu. Is this not the cutest menu ever? I think it is so cute, and it's so very Stanley Hotel. And when you look at some of the names of these things, I had to include this. So like there's a Here's Johnny, there's a Danny Boy, a Room 217. I had the Room 217 and it was phenomenal. Just all kinds of fun named items. They were so fun. Like we had the Overlook, which was the name of the hotel in The Shining. There's a Estes Sunrise because they're in Estes Park. So I loved the menu and I want to include this in here. And it just worked out that I'm able to add something because I'm in the middle of my signature. Like that couldn't have worked out any better. So what I'm going to do is tape these two together. And let's do right here. This is so cute. The little blood splatters. Adorable. Okay. So I'm going to take a big piece of tape here and tape these two menu pieces together. Okay. Oh, I got it a little crinkly, but I don't think I can fix it without it tearing, can I? Let's see. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Okay, that'll be folded, and this is gonna go in my signature. All right, but I do need to trim it up a little because it's too long. So let me figure out where I need to trim this. Okay, I think, you know what, let me trim it first. I think all of the top margin up here can be cut off. And then the same thing at the bottom. And then it's a little big, but that's okay. You know what, actually, I could cut some of this off. Let me take it to my big trimmer. It cut off a lot of my blood splatters over here, but you can still see how great this is gonna be. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add this in here. And I don't want this to be open. I want it to be closed. So I'm just gonna add some tape here. And then we're gonna close it up around the rubber band. Okay, so I've just created another flip here, another page with the menu from Brunch & Co. I am loving that. So cute. And I love that I've got parts that stick out a little bit. So yeah, I think this completes this layout. So I'm, again, really super happy with how this turned out. I love it. Now I can do my next page here. So it's coming right along. Again, I've got more pages or more photos to do for June. So I'm going to continue working on June. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I know this was a long video. I do appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them down below. Please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Lots of Journal With Me content. I'm going to be starting my Graceland journal pretty soon. I've got another Disney journal that's coming up. So make sure that you're subscribed, click the bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time for another video. Take care and have a great day. Bye.